Hey, what's up? My name is Rollercoaster Rider, and Coaster Kitty has just woken up. Aw, you're adorable, Coaster Kitty. Anyway, why don't you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so that way I can get 1,000 subscribers, so I can keep making my 1 to 2 cents a week. Anyway, this episode is called "The First Law of Dirk." I was n- I noticed that Disney hasn't doesn't have the episode listed in upcoming recordings, and then I was wondering why, and I finally realized it, and I'll probably get to that. Anyway, dude bro, uh, after Paige sees one of his crazy, insane dares that involves electrified rings where he uses a self-made jetpack and then goes around the rings and kind of gets electrocuted a few times. He kind of Paige starts thinking maybe Dude Bro should do something different that doesn't involve him potentially drinking liquid nitrogen. Hint: do not drink liquid nitrogen, kids. Um, Something that I noticed at the end of the episode was that Amelia wasn't in this episode, which I find kind of sad. However, who's that guy? However, Liam was in this episode. I haven't mentioned Liam before, but Liam is foreign the foreign boss of Bugle, and he has a British accent, which kind of makes some of his comments funny, and also the fact that he hates his job. Again, that makes it also kind of funny. He breaks down and decides to give Bernie an office which is like built in a very small area, like in extremely compact and almost no space to move around or do anything. Bernie has to actually crawl over his desk just to get behind it. Um, he then tells Frankie that he booked a meeting with a network executive, and so they want to try to get a bigger and better they want to get a better office so that way they can look more presentable. Um, the way they do that is by blackmailing Liam, and I'm not going to say how, but it's pretty funny. They blackmail him and when they show his office, Bernie is like the audience thinking like, why does this guy have an office? He's a robot. And why is there a turkey sandwich? And why is it half eaten? Which is one of the funnier lines. Um, Another one is when Liam is in um Bernie's old office, and he says, "This is truly a low point," which was also pretty funny. So, but anyway, that's one of the plots, and I'm not going to say what happens with the TV executive, but I don't think there's going to be a Bizaardvark show, and you'll see why. Or in this universe, a Bizaardvark TV show, you'll see why. Um, but anyway, the reason why it's called the First Law of Dirk, and I'm not a fan of saying that name for obvious reasons, uh, is that it turns out after doing a psychological exam on him, Paige realizes that Dirk is actually really good at quantum physics and stuff, which is obvious in how he does dares, including having a basketball land on his head, being a human pool ball, and one of the other funny gags involved what was it? It involved mustard being thrown at him, and kind of like the Eddie Murphy bit, where when he was like singing a song and the subtitles were just question marks. In this one, it was just question marks as well, where he just gets sprayed with mustard and then he pulls out a pretzel and eats some of the mustard, which also kind of funny. So anyway, he takes the class and he's a complete total airhead, obviously, as he is, as Jeremy, as Dude Bro. Uh and so what else? Then I finally realized why this episode probably hasn't aired in a while. Dude's Dude Bro's twin brother appears, saying like, "Come on, I'm not built for dares." And so then he does the splits. He does a 360-degree flip, and then he's scared about his or Dude Bro is scared of his next Dare Me Bro challenge because he's worried because it has a 99% chance that he's gonna be fatally injured. However, thanks to the physics class, they were able to get that down to 85%. So he's able to do it and live to tell about it. But then Dude Bro's brother decides to do it, and I won't reveal what happens, but it's rewarding giving recent news and situations. Anyway, did I like this episode? I liked part of it, but then when I realized why it hasn't aired in a while, um, it made me intentionally want to hate it, and I'm sorry for putting my own personal thoughts about the situation, but I think Disney's a good idea just hiding this episode until the issue's blown over or doing something. Um, I was okay with the Frankie Frankie and Bernie plot. Um, which those two together, they work pretty well. They're both kind of goofy and wacky. Oh, and one funny line I want to mention: there was a reference to Vladimir involving I think a radish, which was hysteric, which was pretty funny. Um, I ooh. I think the moral of this episode was don't be yourself. Like don't try to blackmail people because they can blackmail you back. And yeah, um and don't ever change. So I don't know if you want to see the episode, go ahead. It's not my top priority. It's not my favorite episode of the series, and due to recent news stories, I wouldn't put it at the top of my favorite episodes. Even when I saw it previously, it was just kind of an okay there episode. Um, but yeah, I think it had kind of a good message about like be yourself, be safe, uh, don't do something that has a 99% chance of death, and a bunch of other things like that. So yeah, if you want to see it, go ahead. For me, it's not my favorite. Um, why don't you hit that subscribe button, please? Okay, until next time, I'll review. What episode am I reviewing? Best Friend Tag. And Amelia comes back. Okay, bye.